What's up, everyone? My name is Jesse. This is the Auditoire, my react to video game music for the first time as a musician myself. And today is a bit of a special day only because I'm in a good mood, and that's the only reason it's happening. This is Donkey Kong 64. We're listening to 3 songs: Hideout Helm 1 and 2, and King Krusha Rool from the channels Video Game OST HQ and Mario Donkey Kong 1990. Requested by Calvin and Berserker88. I have actually a little bit of context this time, kind of rare, but apparently this is like the final level and then final boss. So usually I don't know anything, but this time I kind of do. Okay, let's get right into it. Both of these are all kind of long, so I'm just gonna go right into them. So at least I know now final dungeon vibes, and then yeah. Hideout Helm, Donkey Kong 64. Oh right, Grand Kirkhope. I forgot about that. I gotta remember he was the 64, not country. God, why does it sound like a James Bond mission right now? I haven't heard much from DK64. Maybe like, I don't know, not much. Like less than 5 songs. I've mentioned many times though, Grand Kirkhope has a very like artist painting style of composition, so let's see how much I hear it here. By the way, I don't know the setting. I don't know what's going on. I just know it's the final place. Turn it up a little bit. These characters I've never even seen before. I don't know the Donkey Kong universe. I only know Diddy Kong and Donkey Kong. Sounds kind of spooky-ish. It sounds a little warehouse machinery, just based on the sounds like pistons moving and stuff, you know. Factory, I guess is the word I'm looking for. Hideout Helm can mean many things. I just noticed something. There's like a common theme of like tracks in these games. Like he's always either around like a mining cart or I don't know, I just feel like there's a lot of levels involving that. Is that like his job or something? And I think that even goes back to country. I remember there was like a cart level there too, on rails. This sounds like a build-up, and considering there's a second song, that's probably accurate. I mean, it's definitely giving me that feel of like tension. And then it turns into Castlevania for like 5 seconds. It goes back into the... definitely the darkest song I've heard in the Donkey Kong universe. Even got a gong too. Octave. Another octave. That was cool. I've always been a fan of melodies going up octaves. Same notes, just higher. Boom, boom. I'm going to listen to the second one right now because I feel like they're going to be right next to each other, but I honestly don't know. Part 2. Also called Shut Down Stronghold. This is Hideout Helm 2. Yeah, I can already hear the same synth. Isn't a helm like a operating? No, I'm thinking like cockpit. What is a helm? And I think helm, I think like upper level, like helmet, you know, like control center or something. I'll look it up later. Helm? Oh wait, helm is a ship? Or is that a hole? Interesting, because we're not even at the fight yet, and it sounds like this. Dun, 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 dun. 3 melodies happening. No, 2 melodies and chord. We have like this accordion thing over here, like a bassoon in the middle, and then the stabs over here. That's pretty cool. And the pad in the background just... A lot of layers here. This one's more about the ambience and less about the percussive groove at all. You know who would be an interesting collaboration? Grant Kirkhope and Danny Elfman. They're kind of like in the same boat for 2 different mediums. Danny Elfman is movies. Grant Kirkhope is video games. I could totally hear Grant's style in like Coraline, The Nightmare Before Christmas, James and the Giant Peach. Actually, someone should do that. Someone should make a video, YouTube video. Put Danny Elfman's music and put it in Donkey Kong, and vice versa. Or Banjo-Kazooie. I think this is the darkest song I've heard from Grant Kirkhope in general. From either game I've heard from him. Like there's a menacing feel here. So I'm really curious on the next song because I kind of know what K-Rool's theme sounds like. Which I'm guessing is why this video is happening in the first place. Also reminds me of Medieval on PlayStation, which is inspired from The Nightmare Before Christmas. It all comes back. Let me see what this place looks like. I have 2 minutes. I want to see what Hideout Helm looks like. I can't get an image in my head. Yeah, I have nothing. Scenery, I have nothing in my head. This game never got remastered, right? It's just Donkey Kong 64. Oh. Wait, hold on. Kind of looks like an underground bunker. Definitely looks underground. Interesting. Honestly, this sounds like they would be backwards. Like this song would be first and then the other one would be second. At least to me, with no context. I'm not getting a lot of images, but basically it looks like a underground cave system. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, it's definitely like the most foreboding song I've heard from Grand Crow and from Donkey Kong. So that's something. Hideout Helm is the 8th and final level. Oh, I guess spoilers if you never played this game. Hideout Helm is the 8th and final level of Donkey Kong 64. It is the Kremling Cruise battle station located inside the head of Crocodile Isle. Hideout Helm is the control room of the Crocodile Isle and the location of the Blastomatic. The Kongs must decommission the Blastomatic before it fully charges, which King K. Rool plots to blast at Kong Isle. I'll leave it there. That sounds like enough. Okay. Well, I can't see any pictures of what it looks like outside or whatever, but all the pictures look like it's just like an underground bunker. I mean, that's just what it looks like inside, and it's actually really high up, but I can't really tell. Okay. So before we go to the next song, which, well, we'll talk about that in a second. So, you know, I haven't heard much Grant Kirkhope. If you really like put all the videos I've done on this channel, obviously he's a highly regarded composer. Been making music since a lot of you haven't even been born, you know, that kind of stuff. It seems to me, and I'm not trying to say this in like a disrespectful way, this is what it seems like to me, as an outsider perspective. It seems like his heyday was like the Nintendo 64. I haven't really heard of like much projects outside of that. I'm sure there were many, and there's probably really good ones. But whenever I hear Grant Kirkhope, I think Banjo-Kazooie, Donkey Kong, GoldenEye, and there's probably some other ones in there, but it's just like, you know, late 90s, 2000s. But please enlighten me and tell me what else he's like known for and really good. So I haven't heard much, right? I want to say in total, like, yeah, like around 5-ish, maybe less than 10 songs of him. Donkey Kong 2, I haven't heard much Donkey Kong either. I'm actually curious too as to like what happened with, you know, David Weiss and not getting this gig, or maybe they just wanted to try something new. I don't know. There's so many possibilities, right? Like maybe Banjo-Kazooie did good, and Nintendo was like, "Oh, well, now because of that, we want you to be on this." But I don't know if it came out before. There's so much I don't know. I'm just throwing stuff at the wall. Anyways, what I was getting at is I haven't heard much like creepy stuff. I think the closest I got to this was when I did my Halloween episode, which was a year ago. And I did I don't remember what it's called, but it was like the Jack in the Box fight. You know, with the and the laughter and all that. That was pretty freaky. And then there was like Gruntilda, which was more kind of like cartoon spooky, but this was like actually, I mean, yeah, it was like cartoon spooky too, but it was foreboding, and it had a lot of like the signature stuff, like the horror type of dun 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 dun. It was less about like the sound effects, you know, the kind of the painting I was talking about, and more about like the song serving its purpose. And yeah, I could feel that tension like rising. Of course, I can only say this because I haven't played the game, but it felt to me that it was backwards, where 2 sounds like it should have been the first one, and the first one where the percussion comes in, that would be like the, you know, whatever. But I'm sure it works in game. And yeah, that was it. It was just I think the biggest thing that's going through my brain right now is just how this is going to sound compared to what's coming up. because not even, I don't know, 2 weeks ago or something like that, from me recording this, I checked out Rool for the first time. I'm not even sure what his name is. Is it King Krusha Rool? Is it Rool? Is that the whole name? I don't know. But I just heard, you know, their song for the first time, and then Smash and Country. And it was a super catchy song, but it was not scary or spooky or anything. It was just like a really like quintessential Nintendo style theme, if that makes any sense. So this is already like a totally different ballpark. So if I had to guess, what we're about to hear is the motif, but just super dark, which might sound really weird to me because I know it is not sounding super dark. Shut down stronghold. Okay. Well, either way, very cool. I really enjoyed that. And it's rare that I ever do. I don't like to do more than 2 songs per video, but I was like, you know what? These are very closely related. I don't want to do just like one of the Hideout Helms and whatever. So this I'm very interested in. It's almost 7 minutes, so. This is King Krusha Rool, the final boss of Donkey Kong 64. After hearing the Hideout Helm, does this take place in Hideout Helm? Okay, let's go. Final boss theme, Donkey Kong 64. Okay. We're in line so far with the previous. Are her pigtails supposed to resemble bananas? Ooh, okay. Mind you, it's been a couple of weeks since I've heard the Rool song, so hopefully I can remember the motif. I think I do. I haven't heard it yet. Unless they don't do it in the song. Oh, wait. Dun, dun, dun. It's been a while. Because before I said I didn't know if Rool was like dorky and kind of like, haha, here it sounds serious. So maybe they didn't put the motif in there and went with its own thing. You have to remember, I've heard like 30 songs since then. It sounds familiar, but it's like we're in a different key now, so it's like... Maybe? Pages. Yeah, this sounds like no more frills. Serious time. Maybe DK64 is more serious in general. Damn, dude. It's a lot of like scale runs. There's a gong again. Definitely sounds like a boss theme though. Wow, this is like... There's a lot going on here. This might be one of Grant Kirkhope's like busiest songs. This is really progressive, like prog rock. Wow. We're halfway. I don't recognize any motif here. I think the previous thing was in the original song. The dun 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 dun. It's more of a guess. It sounds so sinister. I would have never thought it's the same character's theme as the previous one that I heard. So different. There's that octave thing again. The triple octave thing. Dun, 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 dun. I just caught that from the Hideout Helm. That's super sick. And then the next one coming up too. Right here. So the first time it descends, second time it ascends. That's cool. That's K-Rool cool. I'm sorry. I feel like this right here is a Grant staple. Dun, 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 dun. This alternating double note thing. Da, 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 da. I feel like he does that more than other composers. It feels very much like a signature of his. Kind of like the feeling of like steps, movement, running, that kind of thing. Okay. That song was like super prog to the point where I don't know where the loop was. 6 minutes, so I'm sure it loops. It sounded like 2 or 3 times, but I don't know at what point that was. It's really like, it's movement heavy. It definitely sounded, I mean, when I say dark, I'm not talking like Bloodborne dark or something, but I mean, it sounds intense. It sounds really completely different from what I heard in the Donkey Kong Country and Smash remixes. What was I gonna say? Oh, it made me think of something which I doubt, but is a possibility. And I'll tell you why I doubt it too. But the possibility is maybe Nintendo at this point were playing with the whole idea, or Rare, were playing with the idea of, okay, Donkey Kong Country came out X amount of years ago. People were kids at that time. Now they're probably teenagers or young adults. So let's adapt, let's make the music not so childlike. It's just a theory. But at the same time, the reason I doubt that is because I feel like game companies sometimes don't care about that. They make their stuff for an audience, and that's it. They don't care about the people that... not every company, obviously, but... for example, let's just take a random example, Call of Duty. they make games for like teenagers, and they don't necessarily care about like the people that have been playing since they were teenagers. They're not making games for like 40-year-old, 50-year-old men. You know, all the fast movement, omni movement, all that stuff. That's for the cracked out kids. But maybe, you know, it depends, I'm sure, by company, by executive, by, you know, corporate standards, whatever. I'm not sure, but I'm just saying it's a possibility, because when I think Nintendo as a whole, which again is very foreign to me, you know, I think more of the lighthearted stuff. Not to say that they can't get, you know, intense and emotional like that, but I think what I just heard might have been some of the most mature, intense, progressive Nintendo I've heard. Maybe ever. Or maybe just a 64. I don't know. No, maybe it's a 64. Because I've heard some Kirby stuff that's pretty intense. Kirby's always intense. Okay, yeah, let's not get too crazy. Let's just say, as far as the Nintendo 64 goes, and earlier, no. Let's just keep it at 64. I think this might be the darkest 64 music I've heard, which is crazy because I wasn't expecting to say that for Donkey Kong. But then again, you have to remember, I listen to so many games and so many songs that there's probably a game I've heard already and I just forgot about it. But that's cool though. That's really cool. For me, that's good because I like variety and I like to hear that's there. But I think the main thing that was going through my mind this whole time was, actually, before I go that route, I should say that all these songs were definitely, like, you can tell they were connected. Hideout Helm 1 goes into 2 very nicely, and 2 went into this theme very nicely. It was all seamless, actually. I bet you the only thing separating them is probably like a bit of dialogue and maybe like 2 loading screens or something. Oh, but the thing that was going through my head the entire time is because, you know, a lot of people sometimes expect me to retain motifs or something, which is not easy. But I do remember K. Rool's, I don't remember what it sounds like at this exact moment, but if I heard it, I would know it's that. Like, if I heard it like multiple choice, or if I just heard it, I would say, yes, that's K. Rool's theme. I didn't hear any of it here, but then again, it's not like, I don't know, necessarily wasn't expected. I just maybe thought it would happen. As far as I know, I didn't hear anything from Donkey Kong Country here, but please let me know if I did, because it's been an ongoing meme anyways, because I've been listening to Kirby for so long and I still can't understand what Green sounds like, and I still don't. You just have to remember how many songs I've listened to, so let me know if there was some motif there, but yeah, I think there was. I don't know. Anyways, that was the cool little trio at the end of Donkey Kong 64. Let me know what's up, and how many other instances of games where King K. Rool makes an appearance are, and why he's called Krusha. I feel like that's a rap nickname or something. Anyways, it's a lot of yapping. Very cool stuff. And very cool to hear Grant Kirkhope go this intense with it. A lot of arpeggios. Thanks to the requesters, and thanks to everyone you see on screen. I couldn't be here without them. Thanks to you for watching. My name is Jesse in the auditorium. Later.